there's one tool in the country to be able to repair this battery. So everybody who has an issue with their EV9 is waiting on this one guy with one tool to fix it.
Now he's making bank.
They gave him a Kia Soul as his loaner.
He can't even fit all his family.
Can't fit most of his family in that car. That's a real problem for him. So he had to go back and forth over this dream car that he had for his whole family. All right, saving the environment, we're charging from the sun, everything's great until something goes wrong.
Does this story have a happy ending? Today, we're breaking down the barriers on what is going on with frustrated car buyers. We have a lot of cool anecdotes and stories to get into, so let's jump right in. Why are EV battery issues such a pain point? Talk to me, Phillip.
A regular car, 2,000 moving pieces, okay? An EV, 20 moving pieces.
What?
Right. So significantly different.
My mind is blown. You said 20?
20.
20?
20.
Interesting.
Yeah. And so the big thing with EVs is, well, out of those 20 pieces, one of those is the battery, and that's the main piece of it. You're basically sitting on top of a giant D-cell battery, okay? And that's an oversimplification. There's lithium ion minerals, all that stuff.
Like a giant iPhone?
Yeah, that's a better one. Yeah, D-cell battery has the weird things on top. So yes, iPhone battery, much better. Okay, so you're sitting on a giant one of those, but that's the main component. That's everything that it does. Like, you can't change the transmission. You're not going to go in and drain the oil, change spark plugs. Like, if something goes wrong, it's that piece. And so they're a huge component. So while it seems like an EV is simpler, that causes a lot of headache if something happens. Does that answer your question?
Kind of. It's like, I don't know. I still don't understand why they go so fast. And particularly the Teslas. I don't know if all EVs go really fast, but it seems like the Teslas are super, super, super fast. How are they able to be so much quicker than ICE vehicles?
The easiest way to explain it is as you watch the needle on your tachometer go from like 1,000 to 7,000, each one of those is a revolution of the engine. As more of those revolutions get put out, the transmission takes more of that speed and transitions it into the tires.
Okay.
So the more revs you have through that gear, the more of those revs are turning direct action of rotating your tires. Okay. While that happens, your car has to get more gas, spin faster. Sorry, your engine has to get more gas, spin faster, burn, and get more power out through your transmission. In an EV, that 1,000 to 7,000 range where it's accelerating is all as soon as you touch the gas. So imagine instead of going 1,001, 1,002, it goes 1,000, 7,000. We're there. So that 7,000 is being deployed into your tires right then because the battery can send all of its energy out immediately. And so then, like, your neck can't even compensate if you're not thinking about it.
Right.
Because you're used to going into the car and then
like a gradual, like at the roller coaster, it's like a gradual push.
Right.
This is like whiplash.
Yeah. The best way to think of it is like if you think of an aircraft carrier launching an F-16 or an F-18, they're spooled up. That engine is running and running and running, and they're holding it in place.
Right.
And then on top of that, there's like a steam launcher on the deck. Those two things combined mean that as soon as they let it go, all of that kinetic energy is going out. Same thing with an EV battery. Yes, I just said an EV battery is an F-18. So maybe a little bit of a misnomer, but you get what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying for the torque and the powerfulness of all of that. I think another pain point that we didn't talk about is the fact that OEMs and the fact that it takes a long time for these batteries to be ready.
Yeah.
And like if there's a delay, let's say, maybe that battery is being made in China or Korea or what am I missing? Taiwan.
Right.
That's going to cause a big disruption.
Huge disruption. And a lot of the components of that battery, all the rare minerals, they're being sourced from different countries. Right? Some of them are coming from Africa. They're coming from South America. They're coming from all over the globe. So then all that has to come together and then be packaged into a battery and then shipped to the facilities being made.
Which is probably not here.
Right. So like Kia's, for instance, that's in a different country, and then that gets shipped over here. Then we drive it. And if something goes wrong with that, now you've got to go back to that supply chain and find a new version of that. Keep in mind, it's newer technology, so it's not as easy to replicate. And because there's not 2,000 moving parts, you can't just replace one of those 2,000 parts. So I can't keep these huge batteries in stock. I'm not just having a warehouse full of them. Plus, they're a little bit dangerous. And I think we've touched on this before, but...
Ooh, they'd be exploding.
They'd be exploding. And they burn.
In airports. You talked about this.
Yes. Yes.
What was that airport again?
That was the Richmond airport. No Chevy Bolts allowed because they burn at like 4,000 degrees. You can't put them out with water. So you have to have a specific way to extinguish the fire. Yeah. Go buy an EV. Anyway, so it's like one of those things where there are all these pieces that go into it that we don't really know or think about. Now, they are safe. They have individual cells in them, so it doesn't have to like cause too much of a headache, but you can't just replace a cell. That's like the crux of it.
Yeah, it takes so long. Like it could take 10 to 12 weeks for this battery to be replaced. And like people don't have time to wait that long.
No, I have a real story about one of these batteries. I'll tell you whenever you're ready.
I mean, let's hear the story.
All right. So, a friend of mine watches a podcast. We were talking about the EV episode where we were going through the Chevy Bolts at the airport, and he sent me a horror story about his vehicle, which I was super grateful to see it. Like, I love to get that interaction and feedback. And I was interested in buying an EV9 before I got the Pacifica. So, I almost had one. And they were super cool, sleek.
They're very
all
cool.
those chargers inside.
Very trendy.
Yeah. And when the new salesperson was like, Phillip, take it out and step on the gas. I was like, you don't know what you're in for. And I slammed on the gas and I hurt that man. But he was a salesperson. It's his own fault, right? Flex your next time. But these EV9s have run into an issue. So a friend of mine sent me his story. And he said he got an EV9. He has a family of 7. Okay, 5 kids, 2 adults, right? And he's going to pack out this EV9. Super cool, got it on a lease, low mileage lease, low cost, all things are great. But then he started to get faults. So it's saying there's something wrong with your battery, and it's giving him the check engine light. It won't charge to a certain capacity. It won't go over, any of that. So what happens?
Ooh,
right?
This
What do
is
you do?
This is after he already bought it. He's in.
Okay.
How soon after buying?
Ooh, I think it was 11 months.
Okay, so
Yeah.
not too long,
Mm-hmm. Not long enough to be my car is completely malfunctioning.
but not like within the first week where you can just like take it back.
Correct.
He's in there.
He's in there. Now, it is a lease, so he has a little bit more leeway because it's under that factory warranty and all those pieces are good. If I have a spark plug go bad on my Pacifica, I can take it to the dealer and they can switch that spark plug out because they have thousands of them in stock. You don't have those batteries like we touched on. So he has to take it back to the dealer where they have to give him a loaner. Now, EV9s are a rare vehicle considering, so you can't just get another EV9.
They're like
So you
built
have
to order
trade something
almost,
else,
right?
Right? Now, how many people were in his family?
You said 7.
And they gave him a Kia Soul, which only fits 4 hamsters, if I'm not mistaken. So that's a problem. And
Wait, they gave him a Kia
they
Soul?
gave him a Kia Soul as his loaner.
He can't even fit all his family.
Can't fit most of his family in that car. That's a real problem for him. Now, if they were going to do a fix, like a week, great.
Maybe give him a Telluride? That's like, I'm trying to think of another Kia model that could, support his needs.
Yes, but the problem was more widespread than just his car. So everybody else is having these EV9 battery issues. They're out of cars, right? And the dealer is on the hook for giving the loaner out, not Kia. So he had to go through the process of trying to negotiate with him what he could get, what car would make sense, and what he could do next. So he was stuck in this Kia Soul. Now, the sad thing is, they said, we're going to have a quick fix for you. Don't worry about it. We'll get it turned around. He's
Nothing's
like, cool.
quick with EV.
Nothing is quick. So that quick fix didn't work. They were going to replace part of his battery or like switch the battery out. They couldn't get it. The other problem was there's one tool in the country to be able to repair this battery. So everybody who has an issue with their EV9 is waiting on this one guy with one tool to fix it.
Now he's making bank because if he's the only one that can support all of these, he has to be raising his prices.
Right. Each smoke breaks like $10,000.
Why can't he like delegate and outsource?
Because there's not another tool to do it.
This tool. What tool do you?
I don't know what the tool is specifically.
This just seems like it's a process nightmare.
Yeah.
Why don't we have more than one tool?
It was a faulty battery cell, and it typically required a specialized engineer, and it could take months to get the engineer out to fix his car.
If you're listening to this podcast and you want to get into engineering to fix these EV9s, this is the time to do so because clearly there's a supply and demand issue. Okay?
Yeah. And this guy, my friend, he's very knowledgeable. So, I'll read you this anecdote. He said, at the service desk, I inquired, you mentioned the battery was fine because I told him it was fine. He asked for the printout of the test confirming that the cell modules were good. The reply was, we can't provide that as we can't test the battery because the management system in the battery is faulty.
That sounds like red flags and liability waiting to happen there.
100%.
Is that like what we would call a recall situation?
So this is a fun one because it's still under lease. So they should recall it or offer to buy it back, right? Because that is what the dealership is saying the problem is. It's not his fault that he bought a car that cannot be replaced, but the customer service he received was lackluster. They continued to push him down the road. That quote where he asked the service manager was after waiting for a long time to get an update on his car, which they said the battery was fixed, and then turned out it was not. So he had to go back and forth over this dream car that he had for his whole family. Right? Saving the environment. We're charging from the sun. Everything's great until something goes wrong.
Did this story have a happy ending?
No. So ultimately, the gentleman was able to get out of his lease and Kia bought it back, which is good. That's what they should do. But then he's stuck with trying to get another car. He's going to have to run his credit again if he financed or did his lease purchase. So it's a damage to you no matter what, even if they buy it back. And they're not going to put him in another EV9. And then is he damaged from buying an electric vehicle for the rest of his life?
I think he's literally scarred.
Yeah.
Because even if the most perfect electric vehicle shows up in his front doorstep, this experience alone is probably going to make him pump the brakes on it.
Oh, I see what you did there. I like
see
that.
What I did?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even...
That wasn't even intentional, was it?
No, it wasn't even intentional. And I did a little hammer.
Yeah.
Okay. But honestly, like, this is eroding the transparency and the trust.
Yeah.
If I'm a consumer and I go through that type of experience, or I even hear about it, or if I'm listening to this episode and I'm considering an EV, I don't want to deter people because there's a lot of pros. And we've talked about a lot of the pros, but there are cons that people need to consider, and they need to weigh those as they make these decisions, or make sure that they have another vehicle ready to go in case something like this were to happen, or a Connect at the rental car place like me.
There you go. I have a hybrid and I have a gas powered vehicle. So if I ever had an issue, I could switch one or the other, which, suits me. But then the question is, what if I only have one car?
And you have a family of 7.
You got to get them around.
You can't fit in a Kia Soul.
I couldn't fit in a Kia Soul right now by myself. I'd have to put one on each foot and skate around.
They're like tiny vehicles.
Yeah, and that's what they're giving him as a loaner. Here's a 5-seater to replace your 7 or 8-seater, depending on how it's configured.
They need to partner with a rental car agency. My old school brain is thinking about all the missed opportunity there, because then they wouldn't have to take from their own inventory. They could outsource and break off some business over there. But anyways, it just seems like we have to come up with some solutions for these dealers. How can we help them in relaying this type of news to customers where it is not good news and the wait times are long?
You have to be honest up front. Like, for me, it's like...
Take ownership.
Right.
Yeah.
Like if I did something wrong that my wife's going to be mad at me about, I got to tell her I did it wrong immediately. Because the longer I let it sit, the worse it's going to be. And a lot of these people, since they don't have skin in the game necessarily, like it's not their EV, they're a service person, they're going with what they are told, they're just going to give it to the customer and move on. But if you took care of that customer, if you told that gentleman what was actually happening, he may come back to you in the future. He may be like, they were so transparent. They gave me a better rental. They said, hey, we'll get you into a Telluride. We'll get you into a Palisade from our sister store. Like, there are all these things that they could have done, but you have to care. And you have to really think about that customer and their value over time to you. Because it's not just this one purchase. It's not just this one lease. If he likes you and you took care of him, maybe he comes back and buys another car from you. Maybe he buys 2 more. Maybe he sends his friends there when they have a bad experience at a service department, right? Be upfront and honest. Have better communication, which is what he said. If they had communicated with me, if I did not have to go and chase them down, if I did not have to go back and ask for multiple rental cars, if I did not have to go back, those are the things that drive customers nuts. Just give them the information. Let them make a decision. Give them a good option. That's all you have to do.
So I'm aware that he gave you this story, and it sounds very detailed and very descriptive.
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling this guy may have left a review. And let's talk about that, because the impact of a bad experience on social media or in a review is really, really a tightrope that dealers need to walk. And as I'm looking at your paragraphs of story, it seems like he probably left a pretty extensive review with detail.
Yeah.
How do we combat that? Because in today's world, 2025, if I'm a dealership, I have to be very concerned with what my public perception looks like. And anybody can look on the internet and see the experiences that my consumers are having. And this is more of a reason why they need to be transparent, open, and honest, and own up to whatever it is. Because when you were first talking, I wondered, did this dealership know about this issue before they sold the car? Or they're just trying to move the metal.
So I will say that they didn't know before, because when they sold it, knew it was fine.
It was fine. Just 11 months later, then it was like, ka-ching.
And these were kind of like, when this came out, the EV9 was a new vehicle, so they wouldn't have discovered it at all, which is why they may not have had the infrastructure for repair in place, right? But that review is going to be scathing. And one thing that when I'm looking at reviews of something, I also check, because bad reviews happen. Like, nobody's perfect.
People don't usually leave good reviews. So I'm very like...
That is also true.
You know what I mean? Like, to take the effort and time to leave a good review people are real quick to write an essay for a bad review.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I always keep that in mind as I look at companies. Like, I know it's going to be more bad than good, but it still makes it a tough experience.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you don't have to bleep this out, but I reviewed where I got my couch from. Terrible review. I chat GPT'd it. I put it in there. I was so angry. And
Or
I was like,
make
one
this sound
across
like
the
an
board.
angrier.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I want to be combative. That's what I want people to read this and be like, oh my goodness, this is not good.
They need to get their ish together, because if people are going to leave bad reviews, and that's going to prevent somebody from wanting to move forward with it.
But do you ever look at the response from the company in the review?
I focus on that, and I really care if it's actually answered, what's the word? Not like generic. Like if somebody takes the time to really read through it, address it, and have some sort of call to action, like, hey, I'm going to be reaching out to you, or hey, I like that. Then when it's like, thank you for your review, and we will look into it. Like, no.
Yeah.
More personalized, more genuine.
Give me something that's going to make me think you care, even if it was wrong and you righted that wrong. And honestly, that's better than just 100 good reviews.
Yes.
Because those, you're like, okay, some of these are bought.
Or they bought. They bought them, yeah.
But I want to see what that dealership did. Did they take action? Did they fix it?
I love when they own it. I love when they take ownership.
Yeah, like,
it's very
oh,
rare.
What's up?
But it's like, hey, I understand. Feel, felt, found. Have you heard of that?
No, but I like this. Lots of F's, and none of them are bad. So feel, felt, found.
Let me give you quick. So I understand how you feel. I felt the same way. And here's what I found.
Oh, bars.
Boom.
I
So-
stop it, but these mics are expensive.
Yeah, these mics are expensive.
Yeah.
But literally, like if a dealership responding to a review can say like, hey, Mr. Customer, I completely understand how you feel. You know, this XYZ happened. You know, I felt da-da-da-da-da. And then I found that, like, feel, felt, found. That's like a cool way to hit them with the sales, but hit them with the empathy.
Can you trademark that?
It's not mine.
Oh, man. That was it. We were about to be real
No.
famous. That's good, though. I think that
I have a lot of those
important.
little fun.
Yeah. If you'd like, follow and subscribe for more fun acronyms from Danielle. I think
Yes.
that is,
It's a great one. Any salesperson should use it. Honestly, it's more for salespeople
yeah.
to overcome objections.
Wow. That was a pretty salesy pitch, too. I like that.
Yeah, I have it in me. Somewhere.
I think that this guy is not unique. So I have a neighbor in the neighborhood who has an EV9 as well. Went through the same thing. And even after they fixed the battery, she's a lawyer. So she threatened to sue, went through this whole process. They fixed hers quicker. But now her battery will only go to 85%.
Let's give another example, because I don't want the Kia to come after us.
Uh-oh.
Do we have any other examples of anger? Well, I'm sure you have a couple of examples of experiences that didn't go so positively by way of, not necessarily because of EV, just in general.
In the car world?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I sold a person I know who looks a lot like me sold somebody else a very expensive car one time, and they got onto 285 and they made it 6 miles before it broke down. Car was $208,000.
Was it a lemon?
No, it just, our service department had said that it was fixed, and I trusted it. I did not verify, and I sent it. I rolled the car. Then we had to go and tow it back. Now imagine you just dropped $200,000 on a car and you're stuck on the side of the road with people looking at you. And it's red, of course, because who else spends that much
Is the
money on
top
that kind
down?
of car? Top is down. And
Yeah.
it's stuck. What did we do in that instance? We went and picked it up. We gave them a better loaner car. We apologized profusely. We gave them a bunch of money back. All these things, right?
Did he buy the car from you guys?
Yes.
So you were able to retain his business by way of how you handled the situation, by owning up to it, giving him a loaner, making him feel heard. And you did feel, felt, found.
I did, but I didn't know that's what it was called. I should have called him like, I feel where you are. I felt the rain coming down. I found your car on the side of the road. I'm bringing it back.
Yeah,
out.
you
Fix
did it.
Yeah, we did it. And he bought 4 more cars while I worked there. So
You were making bank then if you were getting percentage of that.
that's a whole nother story about how people who work at dealerships sometimes don't understand how to get paid. We can do that on a different episode. That wasn't my strongest moment there, but yeah, we did that with them. That was a positive customer experience journey. And I've had those, like where
Yeah,
I fly,
me
I
too.
fly Delta all the time,
Okay.
and they take care of me. If I have an issue or I didn't get something on a flight, I tell them and they're like, Mr. Greer, we're sorry. Here's what we're going to do. They also leave you these notes in your chair. Like they're like, we really appreciate your business. It's just stuff that makes you feel awesome. Even if it doesn't really like materially change anything about your experience, your feeling inside is
Yeah.
different.
They're ahead of it.
They
They almost like, they know, these companies know they're going to make mistakes.
Yeah.
Nobody's perfect.
Yep.
But by way of owning up to it, I think that is the takeaway from this conversation. If you have an angry car buyer and you're a dealership, own up to it. Don't try to deny it or deflect. Own it and do the right thing. Because they are ultimately, your customers are your biggest megaphones.
Yeah.
They are out there on social media, in person. They will bring you business. They will take business away from you.
100%.
So if you own it, you're transparent, ultimately, then you're going to make an angry car buyer into a forever customer, like your Ferrari guy or Lamborghini guy.
We'll say Lamborghini because we don't. Yeah, we'll go Lamborghini.
Lamborghini guy.
Yeah.
He bought 4 from you, you said.
Right.
He could have easily told you to pound sand.
Yeah.
Easily.
Mm-hmm.
But you guys did the right thing.
You think about it, how strong the emotion is. It's good. That person's going to feel that emotion strongly either way, positive or negative. They're going to feel it. So if you can take that emotion and make it positive, like you're saying, it builds your brand, it builds your business, brings them back in. So just try and keep that in a good place, and you'll be able to take care of everything that you need to. Yeah. If you guys learned from this and you feel strongly about what we're talking about here, or you have an experience, make sure that you subscribe to our channel. We'll continue to talk about this and bring you great content just about customer service and automotive and everything else you can imagine.